Education 101.
Yes.
Yes, 3rd grade, okay? So today we're going to... This has a point, I promise. So today we're going to be talking about how sex can be more fun. Now, I want you all to take out a piece of paper.
Well, I'm married.
Okay.
Piece of paper.
Take out a piece of paper and finish this sentence.
So we're ready?
Yeah, so I want you guys to complete this sentence. Okay? As best as you can. Just with any idea on how you think sex can be more fun when condoms are used.
3rd graders.
Why?
Remember that.
What? Yeah, you guys are in 3rd grade.
You guys are in 3rd grade.
I can't see the
Finish
board.
this sentence.
Can you see it?
Sex is more fun when condoms are used
Because.
Finish the sentence.
That's right.
Sorry, you guys. I can't stay in here. I gotta
It's okay.
Are we supposed to pretend we're 3rd grade? Yeah, I really want you guys to answer.
No, yeah. You guys are too.
But we're 3rd grade.
But we have to, are we pretending
Yes.
we're 3rd grade? Yeah, you guys are in 3rd grade.
Take one. I don't know. Do you want tape?
Okay, so our objective today is helping participants see how they can make condom use fun and pleasurable for themselves and their partners, encourage consistent use and sense of pride and responsibility. So who wants to share some ideas that they wrote down?
I said sex is more fun than condoms are used because there's a balloon. I was thinking about a balloon and all the
Okay, so how awkward do you guys feel right now?
Not much.
Because you're married, right? And you kind of know. But if she's in 3rd grade, it's...
Well, I mean, when she was here, it was awkward.
I think in 3rd grade they don't even know, so they're not going to feel awkward.
Right,
And
and
my
so we
kids
don't
don't
know
like
what
to be in
anything's
3rd
out.
grade. They just wouldn't feel awkward because they have no idea what you're talking about.
What about once you explain what a condom was and what the question was about and they knew, but they feel awkward?
Why do you think someone would know what?
Okay,
I
so-
still they wouldn't quite understand what's going on. You might understand, you know, when the bunnies do that, you know, that's what happens.
The buttons too.
Okay, so can you imagine like this lesson being taught to a 3rd grade class?
My kids know how to think down really well.
If your kids came home and they brought you home this lesson and they're learning about how condom use is fun, how would that make you feel?
Like they're going to get homeschooled.
Alright, so this is an actual lesson plan for 3rd to 7th graders. And this is an actual bill that's being passed, that's trying to be passed right now in Hawaii on sex education, on educating children, students about sex and their sexuality, starting in kindergarten all the way through high school.
Wait, and this is like one
This is one of the lessons
Is
that's
that more fun?
Yes.
Do you know how to make this?
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
So this is the actual lesson.
Oh my goodness.
And then just look at some of the responses that they give if students know.
Yes, Andy. Do you have a question?
Well, or you guys might be strange, but in Mexico, that's what we learn.
Right, okay, so
That's
this
good.
is why it's, yeah, so this is why I wanted to do this as a discussion, especially because we have people that aren't from here.
Do you want to elaborate more on that?
So, for example, I know this, and I have a friend from Congo, and because of the circumstances over there and the very things that are happening over there, it's preferable to keep them this before it happens. Like you know, helping them, like helping less teenagers to get pregnant and all that. You know, by encourage them to use things like this since they're young.
Yeah, like what age do they start teaching this in Mexico?
I mean, we don't have something called like, you know, a health class or something like that. We
Yeah.
don't. We just talk about, we have something like natural science or something like that. And we talk about the body and anatomy. And then after that, at least in my schools,
Like what age did it occur after?
I mean, you start having your period like girls start having like if you're a 10-year-old now. So it's like 4th grade, 3rd grade.
Okay, so I have a question. When did you guys start learning about sex education?
5th grade.
5th grade.
I remember having a day.
We all
Graduation,
did.
yeah.
I don't think I ever.
My mom was my teacher,
I was
so they
8th
all
grade.
did.
Yeah. Maybe I just didn't pay attention to class. Okay. Okay, so as you guys can see, today we're going to be talking about the bill that's going to be passed in Hawaii. It's called HB 459 or 59. Oh, Jim. Hold on.
Those responses though.
Before we start the discussion, we do have a few rules. So just make sure that we're being respectful of other students and their comments. Raise your hand prior to answering any question and stating any opinion. All comments must be respectful and relate to the topic. There's no right or wrong answers or opinions, and remember that it's okay to agree to disagree. So, have you guys heard of this bill that's been, everyone know?
It came up in February.
What have you heard about it, Annie?
What we got me going. I work with a counselor sometimes. We go to live, so the counselor gets a lot of these things from the parents.
And what are the parents saying?
Well, some parents like agree with it, but like this much,
Oh, with part of it.
Yeah, and then the other half is just like I don't want my kids to know this.
Yeah.
But like, is there a purpose, like, because the rate of whatever is going up, they want to do this?
Yeah, it's
That's
to
what we're
like
gonna talk
help
about.
lower teen pregnancy. So Tia's gonna talk to you.
So in other words, the kids already know what sex is, even if they don't even learn about it.
Well, I think it
Well,
depends on
her
the child.
kids and your kids here, yeah.
How old are your kids?
They're 7 and 8, almost 8 and 9.
So with this bill, they would already have been taught that it's starting at
So in church last Sunday, our bishop actually combined. He said, talked to us about this. Right? Basically saying, allow it. And I'd heard of it before, just because I know I'm in school.
Should I close this door?
Or off the beginning.
Okay.
Did you have something to say, Marcel?
Yeah, well, I think, okay, if we don't teach it, then they're gonna learn from their peers, because it's not, like, everybody doesn't come from, like, the more, like, I think of it more of, like, the Mormon household, and kind of, like, sheltering more, and stuff like that, like, we're gonna be exposed to other kids who, like, come from different backgrounds, and it's okay to, like, be sexual in their house, so, like, I don't know, it's just, okay, are we gonna let a kid teach a kid about it, or are we gonna let a teacher
Yeah.
teach about it?
already double.
Before we get into that, do you want to?
where did you find this, Jared?
Oh yeah, okay, so before we
So
go
hold your thoughts for just 1
deeper,
second.
yeah,
We're gonna
so this is
talk a
just,
little bit about it.
this is the actual bill. So like it says, within the past few years, several states, including Hawaii, have enacted laws that require school districts to teach this, to include age-appropriate things, medically accurate health education. So this is the purpose of this act, that's what it has here. Specify additional elements of Hawaii's existing sexuality health education law and implementation of the instruction, either the DOE to provide information and curriculum to the public and all parents to request that their child not receive the sexuality health education provided pursuant to Hawaii's sexuality health education law. Okay, so I feel like you brought up, we don't want kids teaching kids about this. I think the main reason why they're pushing this is, look at our day. Look at kids, how young are girls getting pregnant? You know, obviously the state and many other states have seen an increase, and that's why this has kind of been put up. Okay, but there's certain things that this bill is saying. Yes, they want sex education to be taught, but there are limits as well. They said that teachers are allowed to kind of focus their teaching and make it appropriate for their age. So maybe that sentence won't, like what we did in the exercise, won't be said. You know, they're making it appropriate, and parents also have the opportunity to say to their students, "Oh, I don't want my child in this." So, no. Yes, Rachel.
But who decides what is age appropriate? Like, how do you, like, I don't know. Like they said, like, oh, it's okay, it's like appropriate for your child because
Is that just
age
to
how
the
it's not.
discretion of the teacher?
Yes, so there's a part in the bill that says where teachers are allowed to answer questions or give their thoughts based off of what they think will be the best answer. So like some teachers obviously like have they're gonna have different answers for each student. It kind of just depends on the teacher on what they want their students to learn, or their beliefs, and then that's kind of where.
What if your kid's teacher's gay or lesbian?
Right, so then that can also be another problem because they answer questions based off of what they think is right.
Even if they don't do it intentionally, probably the tone they talk about it with, or maybe some underlying vocabulary or something,
Right.
There's a part that it emphasizes, I don't remember where it's at, where it emphasizes like psychological and like medical issues relating to sexual education and stuff that it would emphasize on as a teacher as well. So it wouldn't just be like about like how we started the beginning with condoms. It wouldn't, you could change that as a teacher and focus on only like psychological and medical issues if you like. So.
Yeah, line 16.
Yeah, so right here, if you guys can read it, it says it. Their own discretion, teachers may answer in good faith any question initiated by a student or students that is reasonably related to and consistent with the material course provided pursuant to subsection A.
So how do you guys feel about leaving certain things up to the teacher? Do you feel like that's a good thing, or do you feel like there's problems that it would create, or how do you feel about leaving it up to a teacher's judgment?
Well, I think it's good and bad. For example, what Brother Shu was saying, what if the teacher, has a different sexual preference, right? So that's a completely different topic, that like the way sex is different for them, and and for a man and a woman. It's true. And I mean, I think that yes, sometimes if depending on the personality also of the teacher and what they know too. That's kind of because most of the people I've seen teachers and work with people that they really their idea of sex is really distorted. So and it's really far away from what a normal kid should know. But it's just it could be good and bad. So yeah.
Well, I think putting it giving that much discretion to the teacher will cause problems because each teacher can teach it differently, so kids aren't getting the standard. It's I'd assume a teacher who's LDS and very religious would be fairly conservative about what they're teaching, whilst another teacher could be very blunt and give it straight what it is to a student.
It's almost kind of like the school lunch issue, though. Like schools provide lunch for kids, but if they said don't provide, if there was no school lunch, well, I mean free and reduced lunch. If there was no free lunch, kids would be hungry all day. And parents wouldn't just say, oh, I guess I have to feed my kid. Some kids wouldn't eat because they just don't have parents that would feed them. So is sex education so bad that we don't want those certain kind of kids that are going to learn this anyway, like Marquesa was saying? Certain kids would learn this anyway. So would it be better for the teacher to talk about it at least, and then if you're responsible as a parent, you can talk about it when they get home and kind of unwind or debrief what they heard at school, but at least have those game kids and the other kids at least hear something from the teacher. I don't know, but then again, if the teacher's gay, then I don't know if that's even, I don't know. That's a good question.
I think it makes a difference too, like, if the teacher is like actually educated in that background, because I remember I had a teacher in intermediate that was like her specialty, you know, like she went to school for that stuff, like she knew all about it, and that's why she was a teacher. And then in high school, they just gave it to any random teacher to teach, you know, because they had to do it. And then it was just like this regular teacher who was actually an English teacher and was like teaching sex ed, you know. And she's just over there showing videos and whatnot, and like, oh, this is how you do it based on what she's done, I guess, you know. But I think it makes a difference because it just,
Alright, so going off what you said, if this is taught in elementary schools, it's going to be, the elementary school teacher is going to be the same teacher that they have all day long. The lesson that we, for the anticipatory set, that was only 10 minutes, so it's just going to be a 10-minute short little lesson that teacher, I'm sure, was probably going to give in between math and reading.
So, to me, if you do an elementary, my kids like have to know, and their friends that they play with seem to have no clue about any of this. And if you give them just a 10-minute, they're going to be interested in trying to find out. You know, you're giving them something to be curious about, to go try to explore and find out. When if you didn't give them that idea, they wouldn't care. They'd be doing other things, being normal kids out playing, not trying to figure out what are they talking about. Let's go
Your
try
kids
it.
would do that.
Yeah, but even you really think you go over to the elementary school and like, hey, you think that all these kids over there are really out thinking about, what's a condom?
No.
Like, you really,
But some kids are at home when their parents have sex and don't close the door or anything.
Yeah, I know that.
So kids get curious about what's happening.
And then they talk about it like before school, oh my gosh, like, do you know what I heard, or something like that.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but so you're gonna take those few and risk telling everybody about it, so there's a possibility that all those kids want to go out and like
So-
experience that.
Going off of that, I've been like asking, because like my friend is very, very into this film and passing, so I've been asking a lot of people what they think about it, a lot of teachers, and I asked this one teacher that does like the A+ program at Sunset Elementary after school. And so she was saying, she was like, if that lesson was taught, like you would be having students in this A+ program going to the playground like, hey, like remember that sex education lesson that we were taught earlier? Like, you want to use this condom? Like, you know, so she was like saying that there would definitely be kids like at the playground practicing and like just like out of curiosity, like, oh hey, find this condom on my body. Like that was part of the lesson plan. And so she like, they would just be like messing around, kind of not really. Obviously, that has to do with maturity level, but that's that grade level.
Yeah, I interrupted Matt.
Well, I think like kind of the big thing is just knowing kind of what age to do it at. Because I had it like in 5th grade, and it wasn't our regular teacher. Thank goodness it was my regular teacher was my mom. That would have been horrible. But it was like they got all the 5th grade together, but even then they kind of they didn't even talk that much about sex, but more about puberty and the changes. And then you get to middle school and there was a sex ed class, and then in high school you had health. So like I agree that it is important that it should be taught, but this whole I don't agree with the at your own discretion. I think there needs to be elementary, like 5th grade, 6th grade, they should be taught this. Middle school, this.
Yeah, there should be like a distinct standard of exactly what's taught, and the teacher should be educated on that. And that like so everyone's getting the same information and like.
And then I feel like they should like have the parents like either disagree or agree to let their child in the class. Like I know that's how they had it in my 5th grade class. And then
yeah, like show them the lesson and what they're gonna be teaching. So you can like go over them. Like my mom, she went over, okay, like, well, I guess we can talk now. And then she told me about it, and then I went to the sex ed class, and then I was like, okay, like I guess, but.
So just reading the bill, you wouldn't really think that there were that many problems with this, because it says age appropriate, it wants students to find confidence in themselves and their sexuality, da 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 da, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? And so when you just read the bill, you don't really think that like there's an issue to be discussed, really. And so it's not until you like go into further depth and do your research that you actually find out what is being taught. And so as teachers, like, we could potentially have to teach these lessons. And so it's kind of like, at what point do you overstep your boundaries as a teacher and you're teaching what a parent should be teaching? So I think that it's important for us to be informed on like these kind of bills that are being passed, especially in our like careers that we're like planning on pursuing, and also just for our future children that they could potentially be being taught in this class. And so I think like the purpose of this discussion really is just to let you guys know that it's like important to be informed, and especially in your field of career, and what can be affecting your children without you really even realizing.
And even if you're not planning on teaching in the state of Hawaii, typically in the states things are trends, so probably trends to other states as well. So it is important to be involved. So we just wanted to kind of introduce this so that you guys could learn more on your own also, and then participate in learning and everything, just be aware of what's going on, because like Lacy said, it is our career field. So yeah, time's up.
Nice. Great talk.
Thank you for
What? I don't think you guys can, I don't think anyone can ever top that.
I don't know how to use it.
Ever again.